So in this question, we have compound A, and that's going to react with compound B to form compound C. So let's put that reaction down. It says that we have compound A plus compound B, and that's going to make compound C. And the question says that we have 6.5 grams of compound A. So I'm going to put down that we got 6.5 grams of compound A. And for compound B, we have an excess amount of this one. So I'm going to write down excess. And because we're told that this one right here is an excess, it means that this A, this compound A, that's going to be our limiting reactant. And the limiting reactant is going to do two things. First, it's going to determine how much of the C over here will end up being made, and it will also determine how much of this B right here will be used up. So once this reaction is complete, all the A will be gone, and we'll have some B left, and we'll have C made. So some of this B will end up being left over after this reaction is complete. And so what we can do is say we have this 6.5 grams here, and what's going to happen here is that 69% of this will end up being utilized to go over here to make C, because the question says that this reaction has a 69% yield. So 69% of this right here is going to go over here and then up here to make this C right here. And it says that we got 10.7 grams of compound C will be successfully isolated. So that means this is what ends up actually being made, this 10.7 grams right here. And what we need to do is we need to figure out how much of this right here is theoretically could have been made if all of this 6.5 grams were to make C. So there's an equation that you can do to figure this out, and that is that the percent of a reaction, the percent yield, is going to be equal to the amount over the theoretical times 100. And this amount right here, this is the amount that's actually produced, and this amount is determined from an experiment, and this T right here is theoretical. This is determined from basically running the numbers. It's basically determined from how much could have been made or could have been used up over here. It's just a number. It's just a number that you get from just doing the numbers of in the calculations, where this is the lab experiment that you're going to do. And so to figure out the theoretical, what we'll do is we'll say, okay, we have the percent of this reaction. It's going to be 69% for this percent yield, and so we got 69%. It's going to be equal the actual, which would be this 10.7 grams here, and we're going to divide that by the theoretical, which would be a T here, and times 100. So we'll solve this equation right here for T, and we're going to get that T is going to be equal to 15.5 grams. And so this is what theoretically would be made if all of this 6.5 grams ended up going over here. And so this is going to be the answer for the first part. Now let's do the second part. And the second part says that how much of this right here, B, will be required to react with this 6.5 grams right here. Now this 6.5 grams, 69% of it, it's going to actually end up going over here. But the question says we want to know how much of this right here will we need to add as part of this reaction, because we add 6.5 grams of this A, but it's just that 69% of this will actually end up going over here. So what do we need to add right here for this B? And what you can do is you can use the law of conservation of mass, which says that the mass over here has to equal the mass over here. And because we know the mass right here is going to be this 6.5 grams for A, we can take that and add that to the amount of grams that we have of B, and that's going to equal the grams of the products. And there's only one product right here that's going to be C, and that's going to be this 15.5. So we're going to say 15.5 in this equation right here. And so we'll solve this equation for the grams for this B right here, reactant B. And when we do that, we're going to get the grams for reactant B. It's going to be equal to 9. And so for the second part, the amount of grams right here for B will be 9 grams.